Okay, this is the last workshop for this week, and what I'm planning to do is go over this quite quickly because it deals with the pest and SWOT analysis, and I know you've done this in great detail within a hospitality environment. So the agenda basically is to look at what the phases are of marketing planning, what a marketing audit is, what are the key marketing tools and frameworks used to analyze the marketing audit, how is the SWOT analysis used to develop marketing objectives, and then I have some homework for you to do in preparation for our London week as well. So you can actually start on that. Okay, now we looked at this before, the marketing planning process. Again, we talked about audits, analysis, assumptions and all that. Your strategy, marketing mix before the 7 Ps, and your information control. So what we're going to look at today is your audits and your micro and your macro environment, and then what the issues are there. A marketing audit is examination of obviously your business environment, your objectives and your strategies and your current activities as well. So are they working, are they not working, how are they working, and do they attract customers? And then you have to identify issues, problem areas and opportunities. And the questions you have to ask yourselves is, where are we now, how did we get here, and where are we heading? So those are the 3 things you look at when you're doing a marketing audit of all your marketing factors there. Now what you will be looking at is your macro environment, which is obviously everything external to your organization. And you also talk about your micro environment, so everything that's directly related to your organization. So if you talk about macro, it's anything to do with government legislations, the economy, technological advances, your demographics, any environmental legislations, things like that. Your micro environment is yourself, your company obviously at the center, but also your suppliers, your distributors, competitors, and your customers. And you will audit this and see where you're standing and how you got there and where you want to go, or where you're going actually. And to do this, you conduct a pest analysis or pest analysis. And your pest analysis, well, there are different acronyms, as you can see. You've got PESTEL, which is political, economic, social, technical, or technological, environmental, legal. And when you've got the police stick, you've got European and international in there, and competitive as well. PEST is the PESTEL without the environmental and the legal. And your STIPO is just another way of make confusing you probably. So what you are doing for your marketing environment is obviously a pest analysis. So you look at your political, economic, social and technological environment and how this affects your chosen organization. So this means that your marketing strategy is actually influenced by all these factors, as you can see in this beautiful chart. So, so what happens if government legislation changed? Do you have to amend your marketing strategy accordingly? What happens if your competitors do something different, as we talked about before? What if, what have you done with regards to the recession? Economic changes, things like that, environmental legislation. So all these factors, those macro factors, are obviously an influence on your micro environment and on your business directly as well. So if you look at political, how stable is the environment, the political environment, what's the power structure? If you think of Labour versus Conservatives, they both put a different significance on, for example, tourism and financing tourism. Neither of them think it's very important, but even though it contributes heavily to the economy, so the budgets keep being slashed there. So again, political philosophies fiscal policies there as well. Your legal issues, labeling, regulations, environment. You have to think about the changes in laws from next year there. The economy. How do people spend? What is the income? How much disposable income do you have? And social cultural. So what are family structures like as nowadays? Consumerism is a massive issue. Corporate social responsibility, ethics, all that. Anything. This is what you have to investigate in your macro market environment when you're looking at your organization, when you're actually investigating and analyzing your organization. You then have the technology, social media, Twitter, Facebook, SMS, the web, anything. How do you get your what influences consumers? What's happening? What new booking methods are out there? Is there anything you've overlooked? The power of technology. International, so youth cultures, access, global cultures, globalization. Where do people come from? Is your market international or not? Stuff like that, and competition, industry trends, socio competition. What is your pricing policy? Stuff like that. From a marketing perspective, you also look at, is there monopoly? Well, there are not a lot of monopolies around anymore. Okay, in France, Air France is the only French airline. I can think that's there, so it's still state-owned, so they sort of hold a monopoly, and with regards to being a state-owned French airline. Economy, social culture, again, these is your checklist. So what is there? Use this to, when you're doing your research, to find out what your influences, macro influences are for your organization. Current trends, sourcing, purchasing, ethical sourcing is important. Even though it says 2004, it still is. Outsourcing, stuff like that. So what are trends? What's there? Relationship with your customers. Recession, anything that is going on at the moment. Current trends, contemporary issues. This is something you can use if you want to. For your pest analysis, what might change, what's the impact, how relevant is it to your business, is it internal, so I can control, or is it external, it's beyond my control. So this is what, when you're doing a marketing audit, this is the group you can use, and obviously what action do I need to take. And then if you look at your market, what's the structure? Is it one company that has no competition? We don't have it anymore. You used to have British Telecom over here. You had BA before all the other airlines came in Germany. We had Lufthansa, we still do, but obviously we've got other airlines now. We used to have the German Telecom there. So if you think about the 70s, 80s, that before the liberalization and open markets, you had a lot of monopolies there. Oligopoly is when there's a small number of companies that have a large market share. So think about banks, the banking sector, petroleum companies, people like that. And then you've got the perfect competition, which nowadays is the norm especially in the Western world, where many companies share the market. And again, what's the market size? Who are the customers? What do they choose? How are they segmented? What's the distribution, and who are the suppliers? So again, this is your microenvironment, but so you look at your market there. Competition, who are they? What are they doing? What's their objectives? What are the strengths and weaknesses? What's their market share, positioning, profitability? Mentioned that before. We went through 4 to 5 forces. I'm not going to go into that again because I went through that earlier. Customers, who are they? Why do they buy? Where do they buy? What do they want? So what's their motivation? What makes them tick? Have they changed anything? Microenvironment, what's the immediate competition, market share, marketing mix with competitors, strategies, is there integration? If you're a tour operator, travel agent, vertical versus horizontal integration, a lot of tour operators integrate vertically, go into a different into the travel agent market, or go and have their own airline. You've just had Thomas Cook and cooperative travel. They just merged, so there is vertical integration where they go into the same business. Horizontal integration is all about vertical integration is all about economies of scale. You go into a different market and hopefully make more money, get more money, and eradicate some of your competitors there as well. So what you have to look at is your operating results, strategic issues, how effective is your marketing mix, your marketing structure, your systems, we talked about the systems before, and the capability of your business, obviously, as well. And all this then comes into your SWOT analysis. So out of your pest analysis, this is where then your SWOT analysis comes out of. So as I said, note the SWOT comes after the PESTO. Opportunities and threats will come from the PESTO. External analysis. So your strengths and weaknesses are internal, your opportunities and threats are external factors here as well. But as I said, I didn't want to go through it in too much detail because we talked about it in hospitality environment as well. And anything you've talked about there is what you can probably use within this marketing module as well.